In today's video, I'd like to show you all of my crochet projects that I've been working on this fall and to give you a preview of what crochet tutorials will be coming on my channel this month. After a couple months long break from crocheting, I now have my hooks and yarns out of the closet and I'm crocheting again. The very first project I completed this fall was this simple granny square. I made it in different bright autumn colors. The yarn that I used is 100% mercerized cotton, specifically Yarn Art Begonia. Many of you know it is one of my favorite yarns, especially for summer projects, but it's also a superb yarn for home projects such as tablecloths, table runners or coasters. If connected together, these granny squares can make a beautiful table runner. And by the way, I included in the upcoming tutorial the instructions on how to connect the squares together. But these granny squares can be crocheted with acrylic yarns as well. A beautiful baby blanket can be made by combining the traditional white and blue or white and pink granny squares. Or you can make it less traditional and choose any other colors you want. The written pattern is already available in my Etsy and Ravelry shops, and the video tutorial will go live on my channel in a few days. The next project I crocheted this fall was this set of maple leaves. The yarn that I used is again Yarn Art Begonia. From one skein, which is 50 grams or 185 yards, I made 5 leaves. They can be used as coasters as they have a nice sturdy texture. I can also see a table runner made of such leaves in different colors and connected together with freehand mesh similar to the one that is used in Irish crochet. I think that would be such a beautiful and unique table runner, but a project like that will be quite time consuming and it will take a lot of effort. So at this point it's just an idea. Perhaps sometime in the future it will happen. We'll see. The leaf is made of single crochets plus a few chains and slip stitches. But it's very important to get the stitch count correctly to get that perfect maple leaf shape. The tutorial will go live on my channel this month, but I also have the written pattern in my shops. I included the stitch count at the end of each row, so I highly recommend referring to the written pattern to make sure you get the correct stitch count. I want to say a few words about this yarn, Yarn Art Begonia. It comes in such a huge variety of colors and shades. I made my set of maple leaves in yellow, but they can be made in so many other autumn colors. This yarn is made in Turkey and I haven't seen it in American craft stores, so I purchased it on Amazon. Sometimes it is being shipped all the way from Turkey, other times I'm able to find sellers in the US. I really wish there was an easier way to purchase this yarn, but for now, other than Amazon, I haven't seen it anywhere. I will leave an Amazon link to this yarn in the description box below. My next project is this cozy, warm, voluminous scarf. The pattern is made of big shells, which are easy and quick to crochet. You can probably make this scarf in a couple or a few days. It's an easy project. The yarn that I used is Landscapes by Lion Brand Yarns. It is a category 4, 100% acrylic yarn. The specific colorway that I used is called Rainforest, but Landscapes yarn comes in a great variety of other colors as well. I do have a lot of Landscapes yarn in my stash, but to be honest, I have difficulty coming up with interesting crochet projects to use it for. I think it works well for scarves, or one skein cowl would be a good option too, but other than that, I can't really think of anything else to use this yarn for. I'm curious to know what kind of projects you've made with this yarn, or maybe you've seen other crochet YouTubers sharing interesting ideas for this yarn. Please share in the comments below. Now I have 2 more projects going, but I think of them as winter ones. I have 2 lacy scarves. The blue one is almost finished and I'm still enjoying the process of crocheting textured shells on the sage one. Despite the fact that these are lacy scarves, They are going to be quite warm and suitable for winter, even in the regions where winters are harsh. The yarn that I'm using is Alize Angora Gold. It is 20% wool and 80% acrylic. And those 20% of wool really make texture of these scarves warm and cozy. Just like with Yarn Art Begonia, this yarn is made in Turkey. So again, I haven't seen it in Michael's or Walmart, so I purchased mine from Amazon. I really like the colors of this yarn because they are suitable for wearables. Last winter I crocheted 2 sweaters with this yarn in the same colors. I made the sage one for myself and I was commissioned to crochet the blue one. I think they both turned out very pretty. And if you are interested in that project, I do have the tutorial for it on my channel. See the link in the description box below the video. I still need to film the tutorials and put together the written patterns. You will see both tutorials on my channel, but probably towards the end of November or possibly even in the beginning of December. Now, speaking of written patterns, so many people who have purchased my patterns commented that they like my pattern writing style, that it's easy to understand and easy to follow. And of course, I'm so glad to know that. But I want to give you an update that I'm now making one small change in my written patterns. When it comes to chain stitches, I always wrote in my patterns CH3 or CH5 or whatever the amount. But when it comes to the rest of the stitches, I always wrote 3DC, 5SC, etc. So with the stitches, I used number first, then the stitch abbreviation. But with the chains, I always used CH first and then the amount, which is somewhat inconsistent. And a few people mentioned that. I mean, the pattern is still readable and understandable, but it is a small inconsistency. So from now on, I'm making that change of putting the amount before CH instead of afterwards. You might wonder why I did it that way in the first place, and I'll share with you why. You see, I learned and developed my crochet pattern writing style from the vintage patterns, primarily from the vintage doily patterns. I had made so many of those, and that's how I learned. And for some reason, that's how they are written. So I never really questioned it and started writing my patterns in the exactly same way. But I do see now that making this change would make it more consistent, and since some people mention it, I think it's a good change to make. Of course, I've already written more than 300 patterns, both free and paid ones, and I can go back and make these changes in each one of them. But in the patterns that I've shared with you in this video and moving forward, I'm already making this change. I'd love to hear from you if you ever were bothered or annoyed with this inconsistency in my patterns, or maybe in other patterns you've seen, because like I said, this was not my own idea. This is what I learned from the vintage patterns. Please share your thoughts. They would be very helpful to me. Thank you so much for watching, for commenting, for liking and sharing. Happy crocheting, and until the next video. There is one more project which I almost forgot to show you, but so many of you have been asking about. This is the lacy flower shawl that I started crocheting last summer. I really tried to give it my best and finish it this fall, but unfortunately I completely lost interest and motivation to finish it. Luckily, I did write down the pattern for the main triangle stitch, and I did film a tutorial for it. So if any of you are still interested in this pattern, I will put it in my shops and will post the video tutorial, but it will be for the triangle flower stitch only, not the finished shawl. In order to finish the shawl, you will need to come up with your own idea for the border or trim of the shawl. I'm really sorry I couldn't finish it. I will not unravel it. I'll just let it sit for a while, and perhaps towards spring I will get inspired to finish it.